Welcome to Fix It for Josh's Sake. Do you got a second to geek out with me on a really cool part of snowmobile history? I thought you did. Let's look at this as we fix it for Josh's sake. The year was 1976 that this beautiful snowmobile was introduced to the world. To get the full story, look up bosscatlegacy.com. They'll tell you all about it. But up until this point, snowmobiles were a little bit smaller. They had a little bit shorter track, and they didn't have this aluminum rail suspension on very many snowmobiles. So this was a heck of a cool machine that was blazing the trail for a lot of technology that was going to become standard in the future. What we're looking at is the 1976 Arctic Cat Pantera. This snowmobile was the Cadillac of snowmobiles because this suspension right here rode so smooth and rode so nice that everybody absolutely loved getting a ride on this machine. You're probably thinking, big whoop, Arctic Cat made a snowmobile in 1976. What's the big deal? Well, fast forward 47 years, and I want to tackle this problem. This is the suspension that everybody loved, and look at how rusty and crusty this thing is now. We got to do something about that. I started restoring this old skid by taking off the different parts one at a time, scrubbing them down with a wire wheel, and then giving them a coat of primer and paint. And to my disappointment, the rust came back pretty darn quick. Quick enough, in fact, that I decided there's gotta be a better way to clean these up. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna be using this battery charger, and we're gonna be using some washing soda, and we're gonna be using some clamps and some stainless steel rod that I got down at the metal shop. I'm also gonna be using some copper wire. And I'm going to take each one of these pieces, drop them into a laundry basket, and then take this laundry basket and put it into a bucket of water with this washing soda in it, with my battery charger set at 6 volts, and see if we can't get this rusty control arm and some of the other pieces on that suspension to clean up. And, you know, maybe when I paint it, I won't have rusty crusty as fast as I'm having here. That sure was fun. I don't know if you enjoyed watching that, but I enjoyed building it. I want to talk about what we just did there. That is a stainless steel rod. That is some copper wire. There's some U-clamps in there. And then I ran 6 volts into a mixture of washing soda. And that washing soda ratio is 1 tablespoon per gallon. That tub, you can get it at Walmart right now for like $8. It's a 17-gallon tub. I figured I put about 12 gallons, maybe 13 gallons in there. So I put 12 scoops of washing soda in that tub. And you saw me hook it up. And that cooked for about 10 hours. This last little shot of that really gooey, brown, slurry bubbling is about 10 hours of that cooking and peeling that rust off of the metal. And it worked really good. I think I'm pretty happy with how it went. Now I want to deal with the challenge of how do I clean that up before I pull the swing arm out. And so what I did is I took a wash rag like this, something I got down at Dollar Tree, and it's got 2 layers, 2 sides. You can see that, okay? So then I took some wire and I stuck it inside of one of these and gave myself a frame. And I'm going to use this to kind of peel back some of that nasty, rusty slurry before I pull the swing arm out of that tub. Now, before I do all that, I'm going to unhook the charger because we don't want to mess with any electrical current. I don't think I'd get a shock, but I also don't want to burn out my battery charger either. Here we are. I'm going to unplug the battery charger, unhook the terminals, and then take this and try to pull some of the goop out of the way here so that I don't have a bunch of rust clinging to my part. I don't know if this will even work to pull some of this out of the way, but I'm going to try and catch some of the goo that's on the top here. Kind of strain it out if I can. Kind of is working. Do one more pass here. Pull it all out of the way. Yeah, we definitely cooked some rust off. I'm real happy with that. All right, let's reach in here and see what we got. All right. That's the classic look. A black metal. Now I'm going to go take this to my sink and I'm going to run hot soapy water on it and scrub on it a little bit. Get any of this rust residue off it right away. Well, it's been about 10 minutes. I ran this under hot water, scrubbed it down, and you can see, to my surprise, a lot of the crud, and there was some cheap, crappy paint on there. A lot of stuff scrubbed off real nicely, and I'm down to raw metal in a lot of areas. There's a couple places in here, maybe up in the bracket welding area, where probably the metal got hotter, and so then it gets etched in a little harder, where it's not quite as clean. But I'm not disappointed. For an experiment in seeing if electrolysis would work on snowmobile suspension, to get it to a place where now I can prime it and paint it and maybe have it last a little longer, I think I'm in a really good place. Hey, thanks for watching Fix It for Josh's Sake. I hope you enjoyed the process I just went through. I had a good time with it. It's fun to be nostalgic and geek out on these old vintage snowmobiles and figure out ways to restore them in a process that makes them last longer, makes the restoration last longer. I think that this is going to be a really good process for me. I don't have a ton of money into that electrolysis tank, and I think that the paint, the primer will etch in and the paint will hold longer on these control arm suspension pieces now that I've put them through this electrolysis process. Consider it for yourself and see if it's something you want to do. It's a real fun little science experiment to get into. So thank you for following along. If you have any input, if you've done this and maybe you have some other ways that you do it, go ahead and talk about it in the comments with me. If you like this and you've seen some of my other videos, you want to see some of my other videos, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, pass this along to a friend, and let's keep working on things as we fix it for Josh's sake.